Hello students, continue with the same chapter nutrition in animals. You will be discussing in this the important glands and how the absorption and assimilation takes place in the small intestine. So before entering the juices in the small intestine, there are the important glands, liver and pancreas. They also secretes some juices and being released in the small intestine. So first about the liver. So liver, it is the biggest gland present on the right side of the abdomen. It is in reddish brown color and secretes with juice, bile juice, which is being stored in the gallbladder. This gallbladder is very important because it is storing the juice that helps to convert the large fatty molecules into small fatty molecules. That means they help to digest the fatty food. That's why the people who are suffering from the stone in the gallbladder, that is called pathri in Hindi. In that case, in some of the people, the gallbladder has to be removed. So those people whose gallbladder has been removed, they are not able to digest the too fat food, oily food, heavy food. So they have been preferred not to eat this oily food. Okay. So this bile juice helps to break large fat molecules into small molecules. And this process of breaking the large fatty molecules into small fatty molecules is called emulsification, which are further digested into fatty acids and glycerol. So the end products of the fatty molecules are fatty acids and glycerol. Now the pancreas. So pancreas is a green color gland that is present below the stomach. In the same way like liver secretes the juice, in the same way pancreas also secretes the juice. And the name of that juice is pancreatic juice, which helps to convert carbohydrates, fats and proteins into its simpler substances. In the small intestine, these substances are being converted into simpler form, like carbohydrates are being broken into simple sugar, fat into fatty acids and glycerol, and proteins into amino acids. So these are important functions of liver and pancreas. Now the absorption of this food that is being taken, that is being eaten, it takes place in the small intestine only. Absorption of the food in the small intestine. Now we have discussed that the small intestine is actually very long, but it is being arranged in the coil form. So in that small intestine, in the inner lining of the small intestine, there are finger-like projection, and those finger-like projection are called villi. This villi helps to increase the surface area of the intestine, which helps to absorb more and more food. Okay, so this villi increases the surface area so that the digested food is easily absorbed. And this digested food is being transferred with the help of the blood vessels present in each villi and to different parts of the body. Now the plural form of villus is villi and the singular form is villus. So each villi has blood vessels or the capillaries so that the absorbed food is easily carried to different parts of the body, and the digested food particles are absorbed through the blood vessels present in the villi. So this small intestine is very, very important. I'll again discuss it, that the small intestine contains the finger-like projections which helps to increase the surface area, and this finger-like projection is called villi. This villi, each villi has got the blood vessels or the capillaries so that the absorbed food is easily carried to different parts. The digested food particles are absorbed through the blood vessels present in villi. So once the food has been absorbed from the digestion, the food whatever is taken, all the nutrients have been absorbed. Now those nutrients has to be used. Why we eat the food? We eat the food to get the energy. So utilization of the food that is being eaten, it is being used in the form of energy, in the form of storage, for working. So that use of the food is called assimilation. So the next topic is assimilation of food in small intestine. This both absorption and assimilation takes place in small intestine only. That's why small intestine is very, very important part of the human digestive system. So the absorbed food or the nutrients are carried to different parts of the body through the blood vessels with the help of a circulatory system, and this is called assimilation. So all the absorbed food or nutrients, they're carried to different parts of the body so that we can do the work, okay, with the help of the blood vessels in the form of circulatory system. With the help of heart, we breathe, the blood is being circulated and it goes to all parts of the body, and this is called assimilation. And which part, how it is being functioning, like glucose, we know glucose is being released, and glucose combines with oxygen in the respiratory system. We have discussed in the lesson number 1 how glucose combines with oxygen and we get the energy. Okay, then fatty acid and glycerol, they are stored in the body under the skin as energy reserves. That's why when you are not eating food for a long time, then also it's not like that you're feeling very uneasy, you're not able to live without the food. Why? Because this fatty acid and glycerol, they are stored in the body and they keep on providing you some of the energy. That's what it is called. They are stored under the skin as energy reservoirs. Now, amino acids, we know very well that proteins are very important for the growth of the body, but proteins are being converted into simpler form, that is amino acids. And these amino acids are utilized for growth and repair of the body. So, in the assimilation part, only the food that is being eaten, that is being used up by the different functions in the form of the nutrients. So again I will discuss it. So glucose combined with the oxygen to give energy, that is done by the respiratory system. Fatty acid and glycerol are stored in the body under the skin as energy reserves, and amino acids are utilized for the growth and repair of the body. Now the food has been utilized completely. All the nutrients have been taken and very well it is being used up. Now whatever the waste is being left from that, it goes in the other part of the body of the human digestive system, that is called large intestine. Okay, so the undigested and unabsorbed food is passed to the large intestine. This large intestine, I told you before also, the large intestine is small, 1.5 meter only. Small intestine is long, but large intestine is broad but small. Okay, so it is 1.5 meter long tube that absorbs water and necessary salts from the undigested food. Still from the whatever the important thing is still left, the salts that are still left that is required by the body is being taken away from this undigested food in the large intestine part only. So there's no digestion is taking place in this part. Okay, now the food what is being left is just wastage. So okay, so that waste of the food is called fecus. Like you have to remove that fecus daily. You go in the morning, you go for shit. So that is called fecus. That fecus, the remaining food is pushed into the rectum, that is stored there in the form of fecus, and the solid food is stored in the rectum in the form of fecus, and then fecus is expelled from the body through the anus by a process called defecation, or we have told egestion. Egestion was the part we have discussed before also. There are 5 parts, important part, the steps of nutrition: ingestion, digestion, okay, absorption, assimilation, and the egestion. So egestion is the last part, how the waste is being expelled out, and that expelling part of the body is called defecation. So the large intestine help to remove only the waste of the body. It is 1.5 meter long. No digestion is taking place. So the waste is removed in the form of fecus. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you everybody.